We'll be talking about pendulums on this video. Welcome back, my spooky friends. Today we'll be diving into the mysterious world of pendulums. So, from the ancient civilization to modern day divination, pendulums have been used for centuries to uncover hidden truths and to connect with the unknown. Now let's explore their fascinating history and how you can use them in your own esoteric practices. Our journey begins in ancient Egypt, where the pendulums were used to determine the gender of unborn babies and to decide where to plant crops. The Pythian Oracle of Delphi in 400 BCE also used pendulums for divination. These early uses show how pendulums were trusted tools for making important decisions. Now let's fast forward to medieval Europe, where pendulums were often associated with witchcraft and divination. Pope John the 23rd even persecuted those that used them because they viewed it as devil worship. However, in the 1600s, mathematicians and scientists like Galileo studied pendulums for their physical properties, bridging the gap between science and mysticism. In the modern era, so now like the picture you see is Abe Mermet, and in the early 1900s, Abe Mermet, a famous dowser, used brass pendulums to locate lost treasures for the Vatican. His work was so accurate that he gained significant recognition despite to the church's historical opposition to such practices. Abe Mermet was a French Catholic priest. He was the rector of Chapelle de Sainte Madeleine in Jussy, Switzerland, sometimes known as the King of Radiesthesia. Radiesthesia is the practice of using a pendulum to detect subtle energies of electromagnetic radiation and other phenomena emitted by people, animals, objects, and other geographical features. During World War II, British intelligence reportedly used pendulums to predict enemy movements. And during the Vietnam War, Marines used them to find underground tunnels and landmines. These examples highlight the practical and strategic uses of pendulums in modern history. Today, pendulums are popular in modern divination practices. They are often used for dowsing, which involves finding water, minerals, or lost objects. Pendulums are also used for healing, balancing chakras, and energy fields. They are also used for divination by using it for answering yes or no questions to gain insights into personal issues. Now, let's discuss on how pendulums work. Pendulums are believed to connect with the user's subconscious mind and energy field. The movement of the pendulum is thought to be influenced by involuntary muscle movements known as the ideomotor reflex. Ideomotor reflex is a psychological phenomenon that causes involuntary physical movements in response to thoughts or ideas. This allows the pendulum to respond to yes, no questions based on the user's intuition and subconscious knowledge. Now let's discuss how to use a pendulum. So how can you use a pendulum in your own esoteric practices? Here are some basic steps. So one, you could, to choose your pendulum, select a pendulum that resonates with you. It can be made of various materials, including crystals like clear quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, selenite, etc. Mine is a crystal, and I will show it to you guys. I have it in its little pouch. They also have pendulums that are made of metals, such as copper, brass, and silver. There's some made out of wood, such as oak, ash, pine. You could use pendulums made out of glass or resin. They come in various colors and designs. Let the pendulum choose you. When I was gifted my pendulum, my family friend had several for my sister and me to choose from. And basically she had us hold the pendulums and ask the pendulum if it wanted to be with us, meaning, me asking a pendulum, do you want to be with me? And if the pendulum responded yes, and that's the pendulum that we got to keep. So to clean and charge your pendulum, it's important that before you use it, that you cleanse it and you charge it to remove any residual energies or, any residual energies that have been left from previous people that may have touched it, and to attune it to your own energy. This is, important, like I said, because you just never know who's been in contact with your pendulum, and you never know what kind of energy they carry. So, it's important to cleanse it off negative and stagnant energies. Then you could use sage, selenite, moonlight, or moon water. I keep my pendulum in this little pouch, and in the pouch I have some sage with it at all times. During full moons, I like to put it under the moonlight to charge it and cleanse it. And I also keep selenite with my pendulum and my crystals. So some methods that you could use to cleanse it and charge it. So you could do smudging. So you could pass your pendulum through the smoke of sage, or you could use Palo Santo, well, Palo Santo if you know Spanish, your preferred cleansing herb. You could use a moonlight, so place your pendulum under the light of the full moon overnight. You could also visualize. You hold your pendulum and visualize white light cleansing and charging it. Set your intention for your pendulum. So set a clear intention for your pendulum to be a tool for guidance and insight. You could program your pendulum and establish the communication, decide what movements are going to mean yes, no, maybe. You can also use a mat. Oops. So I have this mat here, and it has yes, no, maybe. It has letters, other symbols, for the astrology symbols, and the months, the alphabet. So you could use a mat if you prefer. It makes it, sometimes it can make it easier to have a clear line of communication. To communicate with your pendulum, you hold it between your fingers and you allow the weight to dangle freely, and I'll demonstrate right now. I forgot to take that off. So hold it between your fingers and just let it dangle freely like that. So I'll ask it a quick question, and a question I already know, and we'll see what it says. So my pendulum's name is Bo. I asked him his name, and he spelled it out for me on the mat. He's a boy, and his name is Bo. And so let's ask Bo. Bo, if the answer is yes, move back and forth. If the answer is no, move side to side. Maybe in a circle. Bo, have you been with me since I was 19? Yes or no? He said yes. So, like my previous video, I had already told you guys that I've had my pendulum since I was 19. So yeah, decide what movements will mean yes, no, maybe. Such as yes can be swinging back and forth. No can be side to side, maybe in a circular motion. When you're programming your pendulum, just let your pendulum know which movements you want it to be yes, no, or maybe. So with using a mat, like I think I mentioned, I didn't know that they had pendulum mats until like a few months ago when I was following a few tarot readers and they use their pendulums, and I saw them using mats. I was like, whoa. So I got myself a mat, and that's when I found out his name, because he was able to spell it out for me. Using a pendulum mat can provide a clear visual presentation of the pendulum's responses. It's a circular chart, as I already showed you guys, with sections labeled yes, no, maybe, along with symbols and letters. To ask a question to your pendulum, start with asking simple questions or questions that you already know the answers to test the accuracy and the connection with your intuition. Start with simple yes, no questions to get familiar with your pendulum's responses. As you become more comfortable, you can ask more complex questions. Here are some tips on how to communicate with your pendulum. When asking questions, make sure to be clear and concise so you could get accurate answers. Stay neutral. Keep your mind neutral to avoid influencing the pendulum's movements. Don't influence it with your thoughts. Keep a neutral mind. Practice regularly. They say practice makes perfect, so practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the more accurate your pendulum readings will become. So you can also use your pendulum for healing. And you can use your pendulum to locate energy blockages in your body, balance your chakras, or clear negative energy. So to find energy blockages, relax, set your intention, sit comfortably, and take a few deep breaths. Hold your pendulum and state your intention for the healing session. Scan the body, slowly move the pendulum over different parts of your body. Observe its movement. Areas where the pendulum swings erratically or stops may indicate energy blockages. You could also use it to balance your chakras. Understand, get familiar with the chakra locations. And there's 7 main chakras. There's the root chakra. That one is on the base of your spine. There's the sacral chakra, which it's on your lower abdomen. There's the solar plexus, and this one is in the upper abdomen. Then there's the heart chakra. It's on the center of your chest. The throat chakra, the third eye chakra, and then there's the crown chakra, which is on the top of your head. To check each chakra, hold the pendulum over each chakra one at a time. Observe its motion. A steady and circular movement usually indicates a balanced chakra. Irregular movements can mean imbalance. To clear and balance your chakra, if you notice any imbalances, visualize the chakra being filled with vibrant light and energy. You can also use affirmations or healing crystals to support the process. So to clear negative energy, set a cleansing intention. Clearly state your intention to clear any negative or stagnant energy. You can sweep the aura, move the pendulum around your body about an inch away from the skin. Visualize the pendulum sweeping away any negative energy. You could use it to ground and center yourself. Like after clearing, take a few deep breaths to ground yourself. Visualize roots growing from your feet into the ground, into the earth, anchoring you. And then, just keep on practicing. This is an intuitive practice. The more you use it, the more you'll develop sense of its responses and your own energy. I hope you enjoyed this video and the historical and practical uses of pendulums for esoteric practices. Whether you're a seasoned practitioner or just curious about pendulums, this can be a powerful tool in your spiritual journey. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit that notification bell so you'll get notifications on my new videos.